Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is talking about Insomniac's game design and how it is flawed. Let's get something straight though. I have no personal ill will for Insomniac or its employees. They had a really great reputation of making great games, and then shortly thereafter Sony bought them, which is where I think it immediately went downhill. Whether you like Insomniac or not, you have to admit they've been having a tough go of it. First, they had a very messy launch of Spider-Man 2 that has divided the community right down the middle. Then, they were hacked and had all of their future content and games leaked, not to mention employees' personal data, which is not okay. They were also affected with Sony's layoffs. So, my heart goes out to the hard workers at Insomniac. Even though I disdain your most recent product, I respect you all individually and wish you all the best. With that said, I'm gonna talk some shit.
Get him, Miles. Miles, get him. Get him, Miles.
How did you still balls this up? They took 5 months and still had a buggy launch. And for what?
All right, this should...
Half of this shit seems it could have been in the game at the start. Golden gadgets? Who the fuck asked for golden gadgets? It has now been patched, but the last update for the new game plus had actually released with a debug toolkit for the devs, accessible to all the players. And a lot of people are saying it was the best feature that came out with the update. There is a lot of neat stuff. Apparently you can play as Venom, skip to the end of the game, and get the New Game Plus trophy, which I wish I did. But what I find most interesting is that we learned that there might be DLC. I had no idea they were making DLC for Spider-Man 2. This is a direct contrast from the first game where they announced a season pass before the game launched. Again, that was before Sony had bought Insomniac.
No!
Why the decrease in quality? Well, as we learned from the huge leak that Insomniac had, that their hands are full. Their entire development schedule had leaked, and the time between any two games isn't that much. At most, there is a 2-year gap at some times. Remember, between Spider-Man 1 and 2, there was a 5-year gap, and there hasn't been that much of an improvement between the two. But we have Spider-Man 2, a 1-year gap, and then late 2025, we have a Venom game. Clearly, they were working on that while working on Spider-Man 2, and then a Wolverine game. More into the game design, they tried to pawn off these spin-offs. Miles Morales was a spin-off, and although it was an okay time, I definitely don't think they should have sold it for the price that they did. Let's take a look at this. Venom, the Lethal Protector. It's an all-new storyline that continues Spider-Man 2 and leads into Spider-Man 3. Sounds like that shit should have been in Spider-Man 2. But anyway, it is an 8 to 10 hour standalone experience. 12 missions, 3 event bosses with some optional content. And I'm gonna be honest, they keep feeding us that shit every single time. Now that we see the future and we know a little bit of the past, let's see if we can whip up the formula. Big launch title game, 20 hours at most. Launch a spin-off, 12 hours, using most of the same assets from the big launch title, and then you make a new game. Miles and Venom being the spin-off games is a great example of how they can make a lot of money with very little effort. I'm hoping Wolverine isn't the spin-off and that the X-Men game is kind of the big deal.
But I've been hurt before.
Can't wait for the minigame where Wolverine has to shave his legs. Let's look solely at the 3 Spider-Man games. They scatter collectibles that are very easy to find, enemy bases in various quantities, hardly randomized crimes, 20 side missions, and a 10-hour campaign length at best. The open worlds are empty, the crimes offer no surprise or interesting mechanics, and the combat has been virtually unchanged since the first game. Take a look at the Arkham series from Rocksteady. It's a night and day difference between Arkham Asylum and Arkham Knight, which has around the same production timeline as Spider-Man 2018 to Spider-Man 2 2023. But the differences are each game in the Arkham series plays differently and improves upon the last. However, the Spider-Man games are far too successful to change their formula now. What's crazy is we're finding out more and more about content that was cut from Spider-Man 2 due to the leaks that I can't show you. I certainly hope that the content they make going forward does change up the formula a little bit. Thank you for watching. I have lots of more videos coming, so hit that subscribe button and join the Berry Bros. And as always, I'll see you next time.